Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Neha. I make video on tech and my life in the UK. In today's video, we are going to learn about use context hook. We will start with the theory and then we will move towards the code part. So right now in front of you, you have the official documentation. The definition is use context is a React hook that lets you read and subscribe to context from your component. We already know about React hook. The new part for us is this context. So what is this? Now here on this page, what React team is trying to explain is why we need context and how it is helping. So basically what problem it is solving, where it fit in our React journey. So whenever you want to pass any information from your parent component to your child component in ReactJS, we do it through by props. We already know that. But now if you have a nested component, so you have four deep nested components, and the fourth level of component requires some information which is available at the parent. What will happen? We will start passing that information as a prop from parent to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Now this is not a clean approach. As per the React team, this problem is known as the prop drilling. Now why this is not a clean approach? That because this is inconvenient to again write the props again and again. So what we can do in ReactJS, whenever you see that a prop could be a information, not just prop, a information could be required by different components which are spread across the architecture of your ReactJS or deep nested, then that information should be at the global level and that can be accessible by anyone in your ReactJS. So this is where the context come in the picture. So last two lines of this paragraph actually explain this. Context lets the parent component make some information available to any component in the tree below it, no matter how deep, without passing it explicitly through props. So what context is gonna do it here? It will help us to take that information which we want to be accessible by any component and make it available to every component in the tree below. What is this tree below? I will explain you. And it doesn't matter how deep it is, and we don't need to pass around props. So this prop drilling issue will be solved by using context. So let's try to understand this with an example. So let's assume same thing. We have a parent component, then we have a child component 1, and this is nested in parent. Within 1 we have 2, within 2 we have 3, and within 3 we have 4. Now at the fourth component we need a username. Now this username is available at the parent level. Now without context, what will happen is if you need this username at the fourth, then the only way to do is start passing it from component to component till it is available till component 4 as a prop. This is known as the prop drilling issue. This is not a clean approach. This is not at all convenient to do it. So what we will do now, what we are gonna do is we are gonna create a context. So the first thing what we are gonna do is we are gonna create a context. Now how we can create context? There is a method provided by ReactJS. We will import it and we can create it. How we are gonna create it, we will see in the code. But context of what? How you will identify the context? So whatever information you need to make globally available, that is your context. So here the username is the context. This is the information we want to be globally available. So here we will say username is the context here. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna say const username equals to create context. We will look into the code in a while. I'm just explaining you a few things. And once this is ready, your context is ready, then what will happen? We will wrap our parent here, our parent component here. How we are gonna do it? We will get into this in a while again. And then what will happen is, let's assume your parent component got wrapped here. Now what will happen? The difference would be now we don't need these props at all. We don't need props. This username is available at the context. Now whosoever want to access this username, they can directly access it. So no more prop passing. So if I need it at fourth component, I can directly access it. So no more prop drilling, prop passing, whatever you want to name it is required as long as you have context there. Now what is this tree below? So let's understand this. So we have parent 1, parent 2, and then we have a grandparent also. Okay, this is how our structure is. Now this username is required at parent 1. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. Why? Because we have created the context at parent 2, not at parent 1. So that is why it is not accessible at parent 1. But how we can make it accessible? For that we have to now wrap our grandparent with the context, and now it will be available at parent 1 also. And now it is not required. If it is not required parent 2 is not, doesn't need to access it. Child 4 component can access it. So tree below means this is the tree below of parent 2, and for grandparent this is the tree below. Okay, so hierarchy always remember. I hope this was clear to you. This is very important to understand the context, prop drilling, why we need context, how context is helping us here. Now let's see this the same thing in the example. So I have this app. This is app.js. I have a panel. Within panel I have header component. In header component I have a user component, and in user component I need the username. And this username is coming from the topmost component, which is app, which is here. Now to make this username available to my user component, I have to pass it to panel. You can see it here. I am passing it. Then in panel I received it as a prop. Then pass it to header. You can see it here. Then in header same thing here. And then finally it's with user. Now this is not a good approach. You can see how many times I have to pass this props. However, it was just required the user. So now we are going to fix this issue by using the context. So the first thing what we need to do is when we are doing the context thing is we need to create the context. So I already showed you, I already explained here. So for this what we are going to do is we are going to go to source folder, create a new folder, write context, context, and in this I'm gonna write username context.js. Now I will import create context, and then I will write const username equals to create context, username context, and I need to export it so that I can wrap my parent. Okay, so my context is ready. Now the second thing what I need to do is this part. This is the part where I am gonna wrap parent or the topmost component with the context, and this context has actually a provider. So what we are doing here is we are wrapping our topmost component with the context provider. So for us right now, how you will identify your topmost component? Basically the hierarchy. Generally we try to keep it at the topmost, like in our case app.js. So the first thing we are gonna do is we are gonna import this user name context from context username context. So this is done. Now we will take this, come here dot provider, and we are gonna wrap our component like this. Okay, this is our provider. Now how we can pass this username, how we can do it, because we are not gonna do this prop passing thing, so this will be removed. So how we can pass this username here? So for that we will write value, and now we will pass this username here. Now what will happen is we have created the context, provided the provider with the value. Now this username is available to be accessible by every child component in app hierarchy. So it is available in panel, it can be available in footer, header, and so on. But how to use it? So the first thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove all these prop passing. So we don't need it. We will go to header. From header also we don't need it, so remove it. We don't need this prop trailing thing. Save it, go inside, and here also we don't need it. Now if we don't need the props, then how we can access it? So here now the third step come, and we call it consuming the context, that how you are going to access or consume the context. So for that, what you need to do is, now you will first import your hook useContext, and then what you are gonna do is import your username context. We will come here in user component, const username equals to, we will use this hook and pass this context here. And now what will happen is we can access this username here. So if we will go back to our page, you will see this is coming. Now let's see if this is actually, let's change a value. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna write a max here. Let's go back. So you can see max is coming. And now we are no longer doing the prop passing. You can see no prop is here, no prop is here, no prop is in header, no prop is in user. The way we are accessing username is through the context. Now let's see how our dev tool also work. So let's go here to our components. So now you will see, you can see context.provider. Okay, so in app you have context provider. On the right side you can see it is showing how many children is wrapped. So there is a h2 and there is a panel, and then also it is showing you the value max, it is coming. Now we are consuming this context in user. So if you will go here, you will see you already have, it is showing you under the hooks that this is the hook you are using context, and the value is max. And you can have the nested context also, so you can have more context here, which is also very important. Okay, so this is about the context. I hope this video was helpful for you. In the next video I'm gonna show you that how you can create a theme using the context. So we will go a little advanced to understand more about context. So thank you so much for watching it. I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me in the comment section or liking this video. As usual, if you find this useful, please share across your network. Thank you. Take care.